Now, we know that the mission of the Patriots was to go after the bad guys and go after the central bank. On Friday, we talked about how Trump and the Patriots, they're in the beginning stages of nationalizing the Federal Reserve. And Trump, he is turning this entire economic system while we're in this event. And I don't believe this is a coincidence. And remember, Trump has received this incredible stimulus package. And yes, I know within the stimulus package, there are a lot of different things where certain individuals in Congress wanted the money to go in different places. But remember, we are in a national emergency. Trump does have the ability to control where these funds go. And he has the ability to use these funds to help the people, the businesses of the U.S. get through this, because when you move from one system to another, it is very bumpy. Look what happened in the 70s when we moved from the gold standard, and that was a kind of a solid system at the time, to the petrodollar system. Now we're going from this bloated central bank illusionary system to a sound money system. So he's taken us from this gigantic mess that's ready to implode and moving us to someplace else. And the Federal Reserve note, which is based on absolutely nothing, which is losing value every single day, he has to take all of this and move us to something that's stable. And he needed the stimulus package to get us from one point to the other without hurting the economy. Kyle Cheney notes, and he tweeted this out, signing statement also says Trump will ignore requirements that congressional committees be consulted before reallocating funds. So he's prepared and ready to do whatever he needs to do. And he put Peter Navarro in charge of the Defense Production Act. Now, he went ahead and he activated this. He actually invoked P. That's what he said on his Twitter. And this allows him to take control of the entire economic system. Think about what he has done. Normally, they use this during wartime because you need certain companies to do certain things, to build certain things, to retool their manufacturers. Why did he take full control of the economy? Because when we're transitioning, when we're moving into a new system, he wants to make sure that he is in full control. He wants to make sure that there are plants opening up. He had this whole argument with GM. He wanted them to open up a plant in Lordstown, Ohio. He wants them to do production. He wants them to manufacture. And he said we're going to be creating these ventilators like crazy. And he keeps mentioning it over and over and over. And the companies, some of them didn't want to follow along, so he had to enact or activate the Defense Production Act, which now allows him to control manufacturing in the U.S., which now allows him to call the shots and tell companies what they need to do. It now allows him to control wages. It now allows him to order companies to come back to the U.S. and produce here. So Trump right now, he has taken full control of the economic system. We're watching the Fed right now be nationalized. The Fed is taking on a lot on their balance sheet. We are seeing the balance sheet rise to about $5.5 trillion right now. By the end of this year, it should be around $9 trillion. And the reason why he's doing this is he's driving the central bank off the cliff. The central bank will take the heat. Trump will then, as he's doing right now, he's moving it into the Treasury, which exposes those who've been controlling the entire global economic system, which means that these individuals are going to be left out in the cold. What he has done here is he exposed everything, and he's working with certain individuals to help get us through this. Now, these individuals, they're not politicians. They're individuals that he trusts. They're individuals that understand the economy, that understand what is going on here. So he's not using politicians. He's using experts to get us through this, and he is taking control of the entire economic system. And one of those companies is BlackRock. And what's very interesting about BlackRock is they are going to charge absolutely no fee as the Federal Reserve is purchasing bonds during this stimulus time. So BlackRock will also credit back the value of all underlying fees and income that's earned on its own exchange-traded funds within the program. Net fees for BlackRock, including the value of the credit, shall be made public on a regular basis. So BlackRock right now is managing the bond purchasing part, and they're not taking on any fees, which I find very interesting. And I know that Trump continually tells us that once all this is over, once everything is said and done, the economy is going to bounce back like it's never bounced back before. Now, does he mean we're going to bounce back under a central bank system? Or is he saying that we're going to be breaking free of a globalist central bank system, and that's why we're going to see things that we've never seen before? Actually, he tweeted this out. With the tax cuts and new trade deals, we were set for a tremendous growth rate this year, and then the virus came along. At Larry Kudlow, at Maria Bartiromo, we were breaking all records, especially on unemployment. It will all come roaring back again, and fast. There's a reason why he's saying this. Now, what's very interesting is that the news broke that Trump is nationalizing the Fed, and then we come to find out that the German state finance minister, Thomas Schaefer, he was found dead, and it's being reported that he committed suicide. Now, according to the media in the state of Hesse, the 50-year-old regularly appeared in public in recent days to inform the public about financial assistance during this event. And he was worried about what has been happening, and he was a member of Angela Merkel's center-right Christian Democrats. He's been active in the Hesse state politics for more than 2 decades and was a finance minister for almost 10 years. So the question is, why did he decide to take his own life during this period of time? I do believe that the entire global economic system is changing very, very rapidly. And we're going to see things that we haven't seen before. And these individuals who've been running the economy, who are part of the central bank system, they're going to be in trouble as we move forward. Now, remember, Trump, in the Oval Office, he's always had Andrew Jackson on his wall. Since he became president, he hung that up and he's kept it there. What did Andrew Jackson do? Andrew Jackson got rid of the central bank system. Now, this was the second central bank in the United States, and he got rid of it. And I do believe that Trump was keeping it there because the main mission was to get rid of the central bank. And what do the Patriots have planned next? Well, Q has been letting us know that gold is going to destroy the Fed. He already tapped Judy Shelton. Judy Shelton actually has been talking about nationalizing the Fed and bringing it into the Treasury. We actually see it happening right now. Trump, through the Defense Production Act, he has control over the entire economic system. All these pieces have come together to transition us out of this globalist central bank system and into a new system. And then he's going to have his people who are getting ready to be put on the board. They're going to be put on the board at the right moment, and they're going to come in and restructure the entire system. And what this means is that they're going to restructure it in a way where they're going to take us from this Federal Reserve note, this debt instrument, to sound money. Because this is what Judy Shelton has been all about. Bringing us back to sound money somehow, some way. Now, once again, we are in the early stages. Trump has been using this event for many different agendas. This is one of them, because I do believe they understand that without getting rid of the central bank system, without destroying their control around the world, everything else won't even matter, because the corruption and everything that we see stems from this. When you have a system that just creates currency, there's no checks and balances, and you can just borrow and flood the world with debt. And the central bank has full control over all of this and tells countries what they need to do. Well, you'll always have corruption. You need to go to the source of the problem, and that is the central bank. And I do believe that what he's doing right now, he's detaching all of this from the rest of the central bank system that's out there in the world right now. The IMF, the BIS, the Rothschild who sits on top, the EU and all of that, the ECB. He is detaching and restructuring this whole entire system where it's going to completely expose them. I know the IMF is out there saying that governments now have to spend like crazy, which means they're going to have to borrow like crazy, which means the global central bank system is completely exposed, which means their system's going to be run into the ground. Trump and the Patriots, they are now setting up the entire global central bank system, transitioning us out of their system and into a new system. And I do believe this is why Trump had to take full control of the entire economic system, like we are in war. And he continually says, we are at war with an invisible enemy. And think about who the invisible enemy is and why are we at war with it? And why do we need to take control back from this enemy? We are watching all of this happen in real time right now. The economic control is being shifted to the Patriots. The transfer of wealth is now boomerang, and it is no longer going to all these different locations. It will be coming back to the United States. Trump and the Patriots, they're going to accelerate what they're doing. They now have control over the economic system. And what comes next is going to be absolutely incredible.